Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are on this good old planet Earth. This is your host, the Skipper, or aka the Numismaniac, welcoming you to Treasure Trove. And I have, of course, with my special co-host, Dale. I'll bring him up right now. And if I can get, okay, I'm going to have to, and I'm going to bring up another guest. DJ's with us too, so DJ can say hello as well. And here we go.
Hey y'all. And people, what you meant to do is hit remove on my name.
Yeah, I know that. I'm still learning, DJ. Give me a break. I'm old.
I
PA.
to.
At least PA Patriot Prospecting's in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Patriot Prospecting. Start to use a number. It's good to see as well. Joyce all the way from Norway. She will be happy because I have a coin.
Ooh, and guess what? PA Prospecting is coming up to visit us.
What's up, guys?
Hey, brother.
Hey.
Okay, brother.
How you doing?
And it's
Dale.
DJ down below me. There he is.
Yeah.
Good to
Yes.
see you, my friends. Good to see you, Skipper. To my left there.
And to my
How are you and Skip?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I had the joy of trying to bring in some guests. They might pop up, they might not. You know, it's one of these things. I gave them our link. I've invited two people, a chap from the Edmonton Numismatics Society who is quite versed on what it is to belong to a coin club. And as a dealer involved in that sort of organization, he's going to talk to us. And someone from the West Edmonton Coin and Stamp to talk about the local coin shops, what they can provide. And if they come up, oh boy, because they not only care, of course, they have stamps, but they also have, what do you call them? The bobbleheads things, the all the different models, all the different cards, you name it, they got everything. So I hope they show. If they don't show up on this show, we'll get them on one of the other ones. But that would be nice to get them up. And today, I want to discuss a little bit about the. Yes.
I'm not sure if it's your end or my end, but you're breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure if anybody else is getting the same problem.
Yeah, I am a little bit. It also
There's some feedback. It sounds like a radio show or something.
It's quiet here. Maybe it's. Come on, maybe it's. Do we have rough seas out there? I don't know. But
my end looks like it's a rough.
Anyway, I'll be going over the.
I'm just going to check the weather.
Yeah, I'm going to be going over utilizing books to help with the hobby. And I'm curious to see if other hobbies have got the same sort of resources. So before we start, of course, I see my first mate.
Get my notepad out.
Yeah, you might. How have you been, Dale? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Skip. I just give you the weather report.
What is it? Dry and hot?
The rough sea. Sweethearts.
A rough sea.
It's a rough sea.
Okay, and you say my jokes are bad.
It's a turbulent day.
It's a turbulent day, definitely.
Yeah.
So, PA, what am I looking at
Anyway.
behind you there? I'm seeing. Is that I see the U.S. flag. What is that above it? Is that coins?
Oh, my
no,
buddy, I won that. That was no, it's just an American flag. My buddy makes them.
Oh, that's wood burning?
Yep.
That's very cool.
I know. It was Hartley, mate. No.
Yeah, he had them for sale for $180, and I was going to buy one, and he sold the last one, and then I got a raffle ticket for $20.
And you won it. That's awesome.
That's really good, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man, I was happy.
It's a lot of time.
And what about you, DJ? What have you been up to?
Not much. I've been enjoying a break from making YouTube videos.
Well, apparently you're good at it, so I got to start working a little harder myself.
I'm not that great.
I keep trying
not
to
that
put him
good.
like this to get going, but he just, Skipper's like, he likes cooking, he likes eating eggs and bacon, he likes eating those pies.
I like cooking, but I like eating better.
Yeah, me too.
He's like processed here, Skipper.
Just related
If he doesn't start doing videos, I'm going to think he peas.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm gonna have to make something really interesting for you guys down the road.
Yeah.
White Mojo Wolf's in the house.
Yeah.
Does he want to chat? Because I actually comes up to White Mojo Wolf. We got a Patreon prospecting here and name. And so you live in Philadelphia, right?
Cheers, boys.
Hey!
Cheers, boys. Cheers. The school is burning down.
Mr. Nick Monar, thank you for so much for super chat earlier, my friend. I do appreciate you, as he knows. He's a good
The Molinator.
Support his channel. Become a member.
Yes.
And we have Mr. White Mojo Wolf. I think Neil is at work still. And
what do you got going on, Skip?
Oh.
Channels. We've got the PA.
Well, I'm on education. I'm on education mode. I'm learning how to use StreamYard and how to better utilize YouTube to try to make my channel a little bit more user friendly. A nicer look to it. But there's, like I said, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, this old dog's determined to learn. It just takes me longer.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. What else is new?
What I recommend, if you're going down that street,
I know exactly what you're going for.
If you're listening to these big YouTubers, you can make this many, you can make that many. All they want you to do is subscribe to their channel, watch their stuff. They will never support you back. Remember, you're always one away from becoming just as big as they are, and that's what they're frightened of. So go to YouTube and do YouTube Insiders, read all what YouTube has to say, because they're the ones who built the program in the first place. They know how it all works. No magic wand. It's all about consistency and how you perform yourself, how you out there. Enjoy it. Remember, this is not a job. That's how I treat my channel.
Hi, Neil. Nice to see you in the house.
And video games. Another awesome guy. Please welcome to guys. get to know each other. Get to know each other. Get to know each other is what we're up to. And well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that, mate. That is all down to you guys. I know every one of you who's got me to where I am, and I'm always grateful for that. And remember,
Hey, Neil, how are you?
on YouTube, I had problems. Some delay going on here, so won't we?
Cartoon Universe is in the house.
Cartoon has put.
Well,
He's in the house. I didn't know.
if you're talking about computers, he's right here.
Well, I'm more than interested in seeing. I see a lot of football cards lately, but I'm not seeing any hockey or baseball cards.
I never even heard of hockey or baseball. Like, I have baseball. Baseball's my favorite game.
You heathen! All I got is Star Trek cards. That doesn't do me any good.
I'm a hockey fan.
Star Trek, awesome.
Football, kind of.
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan too, but not as big as when I was younger.
My
when
brother's the
pure
card guy,
teams.
not me.
Is that right? And I am being bugged by my buddy Marlon from Mara
Yes.
Videos to go out.
He's
to
got
do
crates and crates of them.
Oh yeah, I gotta get out. I gotta get out and do some metal detecting. And my bounty hunter is starting to rust.
I want to go out and do some metal detecting, but we're not allowed to do it right
Well, you come on over here.
during the summer.
It's only about an 18-hour
Alrighty then, I'm
trip.
away.
Just have to get through past Pearson Airport. You'll be stuck there for about 4 days.
Anything like our mail? Have you got? Has anybody got any mail from me yet?
I sent some mail out today. I haven't received any. I am expecting a free farmer coffee mug.
I'm expecting some.
Yeah, a free farmer freelance. He has coffee mugs. Just like we have coffee mugs.
Yeah, I've been over on Jersey.
Actually, you sell a mug on your.
That's right.
Pick up my needs on my shop. I don't. Well, it's not even really my shop. It's nothing doing. I just need the designs over.
EAC says, "Sorry, I'm late. Was watching Dale's Pain live."
Hey, she was watching me in pain.
Yeah, builds is something I don't have a lot of. We went through a few of them. You want to see bills? Dale's got a fair number of bills that he's got well organized, but I don't. Oh, what have we got? Is that copper?
Oh, copper pennies.
Yes. Raw copper
I just checked the weather again. It's a smooth sea.
from Arizona.
Good.
Oh, look at that. That's a big one there.
Now, did you actually go out to Arizona to find that?
No, I got it from
Is that from
Vendetta
all the
Prospecting. I was on one of his comment videos, and I won the bag of copper nuggets.
Oh, cool. Dale?
Cool. Yeah.
You were going to say something.
Skip.
Great community. Great mining community.
On our boat, it's a smooth sea.
Okay.
That's a smooth sea.
Put draw a picture of a shirt over top of that. Can you draw a shirt over top of that?
A shirt or a t-shirt?
Well, let's see it. Show me the shirt that you drew over top of that letter.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second.
Doesn't have to be fancy, just a regular t-shirt or whatever.
It could be a T.
Holy cow! What kind of? And that is, what are we looking at there, PA? Benzo gold. Ah, yeah.
That is a bag of pay dirt, half a gram.
That's a see-through blouse.
Yeah.
It's a shirt. It's a
He had a $2 raffle, and I won that as well.
Club. Yeah. Try you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've won anything really online, except for my lap quilt. And by the way, I won that battle. Tracy's leaving me alone. Now I have that.
Yeah, I won like
lap quilt now.
I won like 5 times in 4 weeks.
I think the best day I ever had on any of these giveaways was on Storm and CA's channel. I actually won 2 silver Morgans in one day. That was a good day. I don't see him up too often anymore. He's drawing again. You know what? I've already gone through these interesting draw. Are you going to draw?
What you got going on, brother?
Yeah, DJ, help us.
Yeah, and just to kind of get on top, I don't collect physical stuff. What I like to collect are the reactions from my viewers when they say, "Oh, I remember that show. I remember that movie I used to watch as a kid."
Ah, okay.
Because that is the goal of my channel, to get you to remember what you used to enjoy when you were younger.
Well, I remember sitting in the movie theater watching Steamboat Willie for the first time.
That's really cool, DJ. Really cool, man.
Right, BA. Yeah. But yeah.
I've added to my collection on my bills, actually.
You have?
Right. Yeah, ready? I see.
Are you going to be flashing bills at us?
What do you got?
Yeah.
What, Bill 07? No, not really. Okay. The story is on page 493. Skipper goes into the forest and he lost his reindeers. There. Alrighty, I'm going to go through some other stuff you haven't seen.
Yeah, Nick,
This is
show
from
some hockey,
Ransover.
brother.
And Okay. And then that's the last one from Ran So Far Away. Is I can't remember what that one is from now, but that's what Zoe got me. That's actually made of cloth. That's why it's weird. And then from Can I got some sequential bills, $2 bills. And Brittany got me some. She sent me. I obviously didn't know I was getting these. Brittany, I think she should see some unique serial numbers. You won't be able to see them. But wow, I think because I can't see the camera, so I'm just guessing here, guys. If you can see anything.
Yeah.
And then
Interesting.
there's quite a few there, so they're all unique serial numbers, like birthday notes, radar notes, just unique serial numbers. And then Jason from Sandman Coins and Tools, he sent me a 935G silver certificate, and then he sent me a 1950 silver certificate. And then he sent me a 1963 Joseph Barr, which is highly collectible, which is Joseph Barr signature on it. And then he sent me a 2005 Federal Reserve note. Yeah, I did say, which is a $2 banknote, and then a $5 Red Seal banknote. So, going away now. I'm guessing. So.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
They can see that they can't camera, so.
Well, I've got something to share.
And so far, so I've got quite a few in here. I've got quite a lot, don't I?
Yeah, you've got a nice collection.
Yep.
And that's a small portion of it, by the way.
We lost PA.
No! Right, that's it. He's Skipper.
Yeah, I've got something I want to share because I think it's something
I've got your
that.
silver in today.
What?
I've got silver today.
Oh, that's for the melting.
Yeah.
Cool. Can't wait to see what that looks like.
Cool.
That's 2 hours.
Okay, guys, what I want to talk to you about briefly here is some of the activities that involve veterans and first responders, and how our hobbies can really help them get through a lot of the mental and physical issues that they go through. And one of the organizations that I'm a firm believer in is called Quilts of Valor. And Quilts of Valor is in Canada and the United States. I'm not sure if they have anything in Great Britain yet, but they make these lovely quilts in quilting bees. This is one that was given to me, and I can't really show you the whole thing because it would take up the whole room. It's a king size that they gave me. Apparently, I need something big. And what they do is they surprise these folks that they present them to, and in Canada, they actually wrap these around the veteran or the first responders, and it's what they refer to as a hug from their country, a warm hug. And it also comes with a patch inside, and it tells a little bit about who it is that did it. This one here is this Quilt of Valor was made by Margaret Esquini of Ingleside, Ontario, who is the proud mom of Captain Adam Esquini, CFB Edmonton, October 2014. So this was presented to me actually in 2015, but this is all handmade, And these ladies actually make these, and it's quite. You talk about a hobby. It is absolutely amazing the stuff they come out with, and they give them away as in appreciation for service rendered. So keep that in mind if you happen to know any veterans out there that you think would be deserving of a quilt. Quilts of Valor is actually available on Facebook, and I believe they do have a website, including a U.S. Website as well. And Zilla says U.S. has a Folds of Valor too, which is how they fold the flag when someone makes the ultimate sacrifice. Awesome, Zilla. Thanks for sharing that.
No.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there are so many different hobbies and things that are out there to help people who are working with all kinds of issues, whether it be learning how to play guitars. Guitars for Vets. They gave me a guitar, and I haven't played in 50 years, so it's going to be interesting. And they provide the lessons. Operation Vet Build, where they actually provide models for you to build. They give them the models to you and all the supplies to start building them. And they sit down with you and guide you through. If you've never built a model before, they show you how to use the tools and everything. There's so many things, and hobbies and crafts are so therapeutic for all of us. So I would recommend look into it. If you have something you like doing, promote it. And if in a format like this, you can tell us about it. You may not have heard of it before. And definitely let us know. Zilla says my best friend had lost both his eyes in Iraq to a grapevine. Oh, I just got something popped up and I can't see it now. Grapevine IED. Put him in for Quilts of Valor. You should. Absolutely should. We had a young chap down in Calgary, had a horrendous accident. It was a armored personnel carrier rollover, and he lost part of his brain. And to talk to him, he is absolutely completely cognizant. He's a really nice chap, but he no longer can gain new memories. So he thinks he's still a corporal back in 1995. So we gave him one. Now he's blind, and he's lost the use of his legs. But we gave him two quilts. One of them is a regular Quilt of Valor. Another one is textured, so you can actually feel the different designs on it. And those things mean a lot to these guys, especially people that are seriously injured, where it gives them a little bit of comfort and that security that they need. So, yeah, I think Quilts of Valor is marvelous. EAC says, love that quilt. My great-grandmother was featured on her local news station as part of her quilting group. I think she would have been happy to make quilts for vets. Unfortunately, she died in 78. You know what? It's not that old, this organization. I think it's only 10 or 12 years old. But it's in place now, and it's in place in the US and Canada, and maybe in Great Britain. I don't know. You might want to check that, Dale, to see if it's out there.
I will do.
X11 Bravo does an organization that he sends out comic books to veterans. Awesome. I'm going to be sending him in notes to put in with the comic books. X11 Bravo is on Instagram. Thanks, Neil. That's good to know. And that's what I have to say. I mean, we're here to support one another, and it's wonderful to have these resources.
And what I do, people may not know this unless they look back at my really old videos. Now, what I do, people don't know that I do now and then, because of my nerves. I do painting, I do artwork, and I try and do photography. And what I do on paintings, they're quite big. Some of them smaller, some of them big. And if anybody's got a kid, or they got a house, or anything like that, or they're interested in some miniature art, I do photographs, and I turn them into these.
Oh, that's neat.
And just to show you what, if I get a half. Come on. Right. So $1. Okay, and this is, where's that picture gone? This is just them. So that's how big they are. That's size of them. So they're really, really tiny, and they come with their own adhesive. I paint them, shape them, and I obviously do the photographs.
So you know.
And I also, what I will do, I'll go and get one of my paintings. I'll show you the scale. Actually, I'll go do it now.
I need to write a book. Really? Maybe a paint by number book. Yeah, I try to encourage people to try to live as dynamic as possible, and I adhere to the magic formula for dynamic living. And anytime I spout it off, most people go, "What in the world? Are you a space cadet or what?" So no, this dynamic living is something to aspire to. It's not something that's set in stone. It goes like this. Dynamic living is that kind of life that's filled with joy and happiness all the time. A life free of fear, free of worry, with your life balanced in all 6 major areas, which are business, home, social, physical, mental, and spiritual. I challenge you to do that. It is tough, but it gives you a goal. Something to aspire to. And having all these activities that we do, whether it doesn't matter what it is, it's I'm not sure what that means, Zilla. Ayahuasca is dynamic living. Ayahuasca.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. He's just trying to mess with me now. Ayahuasca. Hoi, hoi, hoi. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a matter of regardless of where you are in life, whether it be you're young or old or infirm or able, there are tons of things that we can do, and it's just a matter of deciding what it is. I plan on, if I can drop another 40 or 50 pounds, at least until I can see my feet again. I want to be able to do some of the things I used to do when I was a youngster back 50 years ago or so. And I can see me doing a rundown on a rifle range with a walker. It's not going to look very good. But, I would like to do things like taking a hot air balloon ride across the Grand Canyon.
Oh.
Now, I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
There's zipping around different holiday resources on one of those 3-wheel bikes. Oh, I do that as long as I had water balloons, I could throw it at people. No, it's just looking for things to do. Yes. Oh, yeah. You showed me those paintings before.
Nice.
He's into the painting.
Huh.
And models. You should see all his planes he's got. Holy cow.
And that's how big that that picture is goes into there. That's just,
So you reduce the size of it and you put it into a small frame.
yeah, I paint the frames up. It's all painted.
Very cool.
And obviously it's got adhesive stuff so you can just stick it straight in. And I love this painting.
Alexander, I did paint by numbers, and you can keep from smearing your paint.
Alan, if you saw this, like we got 3 different pictures under this, which I messed up, which I always do. I think it's one of my favourites. I think.
Ayahuasca, it's plant medicine for PTSD. Is that cannabis?
I love waterfalls. Waterfalls to me are the most tranquil thing in the world.
A whirlpool? Yeah, unless you're caught in it.
Yeah. A water. It's something it's like it's TV to me.
It's like which?
Nature's TV is a waterfall to me.
Oh, a waterfall. Boy, him and his accent. Even I'm having trouble, and I live with a Brit.
Yeah.
Yes, No, actually, I like waterfalls too, almost. As long as I'm not falling off the cliff, I love them.
And my next one.
And Ogre Coins is in the house. I get it. He's out hunting and finding. You should show us show everybody your cases. Oh, look at that! Oh man, that's my house in the winter.
And that is on there. Is it very well? Yeah, I don't do it very often, but I love painting, and I've always been very good at blending colours in. I don't know why. I think it looks like a mess. But again, this had 2 different pictures on it. I painted before, and I painted over it again because it came out wrong. And so yeah, I thought it was something different. This is my third paint. This was after, because obviously I can't hold the brushes very well because of my nerves. But one way you get going is by doing stuff and just get dexterity, your motor skills going. I think it's, as I say, you end up with a picture that you didn't think that was possible. So it's like a little achievement, I guess.
That's oil painting, isn't it?
No, that is just normal school poster paints.
Really?
Yep.
Nice. You can really
don't buy expensive paints to do anything. I mean, I was only practicing. I'm going to buy oil until I got used to it again. So I enjoy. I think it holds well on the canvas. So this is years old now.
Yeah, CJ, you were saying?
Oh, I will say that you could really make anything with any materials you have.
Yeah, you can. You can, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't need the best paints to make a piece of artwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did a lot of artwork with charcoal, but I was in the Middle East, so I wasn't
Yeah.
about to try to get that home. So I just left it on the walls for the guys to enjoy.
Yeah, that's good with me.
Charcoal's fun. I'll tell you what I do love doing though is sculpt. I used to love sculpting. Um,
Yeah,
and there
sculptures.
is one of a photograph as well. That pub is called the Highwayman. I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Now, how did you do the framing? Is that a template, or is it?
You can get them pre-made, or you can buy it like a block and it comes out. You just rough it down. It's only very thin plywood. It's really easy. You can get them pre-made or come in like a template. They're like more or less sculpted itself, but you just sand it down a little bit. But yeah, they are some of them pre-made, some of them are done. Like some of them are out of sync, some bigger than others. But yeah, so some of these I got in packs, but then you get some that actually got just like the rectangle, and you just shape it out. That gives you a bit of supplement that you yourself, but the pattern's the same. But some, so I just a bit different than what it would be. Like you got that one there. Yeah, we've got the flicks on it. Well, this one hasn't. So I shaped it a bit different. I busted it, so so I just shaped it around myself. I think that was probably one of my first ones. So that if you look at the differences, see, I broke the ends off. I broke one out-handed. I decided I'd just change them. Completely different. Some of them like that. But yeah, I broke a couple. There's another one I broke. I painted it black in the end. Took the edges off here, and I just rather than throwing them away, I just reshaped them. I mean, it's fun to do. I mean, because you're doing one thing and you can like put them into something different, you know. Sold quite a few of those over the years. If anybody's got a daughter, granddaughter, or anything like that, I'm quite happy to send one out.
I see Zilla. He says he loves the history of war, and yeah, not to love war, but to love the history, and realize that much of the world's history revolves around war. In fact, it's the one thing that they probably document the best. Unfortunately, I would like to see less of it, but there's lots of stuff that you can do for documenting or trying to understand our military history.
Yeah,
I mean, I do displays for that, but also I collect the books and different things. I collect stuff like this. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. I got things like that for D-Day, and it's a rather large. Actually, I wonder if I can even open this thing anymore. Here we go. Of course, it comes with all the. That's how much it got. Got the big book inside, and it's got a audio DVD and film, and I got that. And of course, it wasn't enough. I wanted a different perspective, so I got another one that was D-Day was the largest sea invasion, seaborne invasion in the history of mankind. So I decided to get as much information on that. Books like The Super Commandos. And that's the first special service force made up of Canadians in the U.S.
Nice.
And then you got books like this, Great Canadian Battles. There's more literature out there than Carter has pills. If you want, again, I'm a collector of this stuff, like many of you out there. So there's a lot of different ways we can go with collections.
I mean, I like learning about history of war, because war shapes the way that history shouldn't read itself, but unfortunately it does it that way. You know, through ancient battles all the way through to the modern age, but obviously I collect things that incorporated wars, like like the Pearl Harbor challenge coin. If it went through Pearl Harbor, America would never have got into the war at that time. In World War One, the death coin which I have, again, that was down to U-20 sinking Lusitania, which pulled the Americans to the war in World War One. So there's those significant parts of history, because in school, and I questioned this in school with my son because he was learning about World War One. They were going, that battle's there. So kids, they put all different. They had Indians in it. They had cowboys in it. You know, because it's a kid's trench. You know, it's only doing what kids do. Mm-hmm. Some had World War II soldiers in it. You know, whatever they can find, they stuck it in, you know. But what teachers were saying was completely wrong, and because it wasn't just one trench, and that's what they were saying in class with him at the time. I said there was multiple trenches. You know, you had the logistics trench, you had the communications trench, you had the reserve trench, and you had the frontline trench.
And they weren't straight. They were zigzag all over the place.
Yeah, they were kind of like castle fortification. And there's a question that I want to put out to you, which is the biggest man-made structure on the earth. People will get this wrong.
What is the biggest man-made structure on the earth?
Yeah, which has been built by hand by humans.
Well, I know what I'm tempted to say, but I'm wondering if there is one larger. The biggest man-made structure on Earth. Oh, hey, we're breaking up here. Yeah, the biggest man-made structure on Earth.
Yeah, is World War. It may not have been a structure. If you think about trenches all across Europe, north, south, east, and west, between both lines and the old lines and the new lines, even though a lot of them are physical today, but at the time, it was the biggest man-made structure in the world. Now, people will argue, experts say that's the Great Wall of China, but it's not. If you check how big the lines were in World War One, it surpassed the Great Wall by twice.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
All that digging.
Yeah.
But experts say the Great Wall of China, and it's not. The biggest structure that was ever built by man, no matter which side you was on, was the trenches in World War One, because they weren't straight. They were.
See,
now you're the leads off, you know.
Yeah. Now you're hitting us with history, which all of us our ears have perked up.
And then the other bit is the tunneling as well.
Oh, not just the tunnels, but also that they utilize the miners to do the mega explosions.
But yeah, I mean, the Great Wall of China may be a solid structure, but at the time, the trenches were a solid structure. It was life and death. The Great Wall of China is potentially a trench upwards because it narrowed the armies into not to stop the people from going over, but stop people having big, wide voids of volley arrows. They narrowed them. So thinking of the Great Wall of China as an upward trench, as when World War I, they don't. I mean, when the First War started, there was no trench. It was only because they had to dig down to get away from all the shelling and all the bullets. They had to dig down up to their only defense.
If you're interested in World War I history, I would highly recommend Peter Jackson's "They Shall Not Grow Old." It's available, I'm pretty sure, on Netflix. Watch it. The man took World War I vintage film, colorized it, fixed it so it didn't look choppy like the old crank cameras used to do, and actually utilized actors to do. They read their lips, and they actually found out what they were saying, and actually used found people from the areas where these soldiers came from, so they had the right accents and whatnot. And now you're watching a colorized film of World War I, and it looks like it was just done yesterday. And it shows you tons of stuff that you never, and believe me, it hits home. You're going to be glad that you weren't in that war because it was nasty.
What was the name?
It got worse, nasty when they started using gas. When they
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's when because the gas
What's that? What's that, DJ?
1936 was the date for the
one of my friends said yeah.
Oh.
I was talking to the chat.
How much construction is based on lands geographically work for them? Oh yeah, exactly. I agree with you there. But yeah, the Wall of China is a huge feat of engineering. Huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're and of course
every piece of ancient area is amazing.
The mining was bad enough. I mean, and putting those huge explosive charges underneath the different trenches. But prior to the atomic bomb, what was the largest explosion that happened?
Oh, that was on the. I think it was on April the 1st or 2nd, 1916. I think like 400 explosives. It went that bad that it was actually shut down. And he said that's when they really stopped doing the mining. The crate is still there today.
Actually, you're technically, even though that was big, you're technically incorrect. Because the largest explosion that happened in World War I was not in Europe. It took place at Halifax, Nova Scotia, where a ship was. Yeah, and it literally leveled the city. It was that big.
I remember you telling me that now. Yeah. Do you know what? I was literally going to tell. Yes, you told me this story, and
okay, Yeah, the Tsar bomb was the largest hydrogen bomb, but but we're far away from what we were talking about. Let's just hope that they don't use it during this next conflict.
Yes, do you know? I remember you saying now, Nova Scotia was completely leveled. Wasn't your family one of the firefighters or something? Or you knew
what,
somebody knew
for me? No. You're thinking of my. I had a family member that was working the railroad out of Essex in 1909, and oh gosh, it was hello. Why can't I remember? Nitroglycerin had leaked out of the train, and the train ran over it, and that train filled with nitro went off. And they got some great pictures online if you ever want to look it up on YouTube. But they basically described the fact they were picking this guy's pieces out of a tree. He fell out of the gene pool. Yeah. And Zilla, I have family members. You can look this up yourself too. I have family members that went down on the USS Arizona. They're actually brothers in Pearl Harbor. So I have a display in memory of those. So, and that's part of my display. Oh, who? Weaves World.
You got Arizona.
Weaves World.
Yeah, he's one of my friends who popped in.
Well, if he's one of your friends, I'm going to have to make sure I put him down so he can put your link in, Weaves World.
Yeah, write your links in. Get to know each other. Make friends, of course.
Yeah, Neil already put his link up. So.
But yeah, I mean, I got a comical story that if my uncle would actually laugh at it. He got your uncles and he would laugh. He was always a smiler. He was always happy. He was a tanker driver in World War II, and his name was Sandy. He had his nickname was called Sandy. I didn't know this because that's why he was a tanker driver in Africa. And then he obviously he'd been in other theatres, so to speak. And I said to him, I was only little at the time, I was only tiny, must have been about, then maybe. I said, Uncle Sandy, why do you like? He goes, I'll do when you're older. And I went, okay, sort of thing, probably young to really. Anyway, about 15 years, he goes, man, he said, because I used to do his shopping for him because I was a lot older, so I used to go and do shopping for him, his wife, and stuff like that. If my mum and dad needed anything, I'd go round to my Uncle Sandy's, I'd leave around the corner, and I'd say, need anything, I'll go and get it for you. And it was quite ironic. And he goes, I never told you why I limp. What are you talking about? Obviously, because I forgot. And my Uncle Sandy was as sharp as a thinking knife, he was. He goes, I was taking some troops to go back to their platoon kind of thing. I'm not sure what it was called back then, but wherever they were from, their regiment, whatever. And obviously, at the end of the war, not everybody got the memo that the war was over. Because obviously you're talking, it's big. It's like a big theatre. So there's some insurgents around without any communications, and when they see a lone truck. And they opened fire on my uncle's truck. There was 3 of them, and he was at the beginning one. And of course, and he gets out. Oh, just knocked me leg on the door or something. He was actually shot, and he was the only person I know who was alive who got shot after the war. So all the times that he's been in, and all the up close and personal actions he's probably seen, he got shot after the war. But you laugh about it. He's like, I can't believe it, Yeah, that's the only sort of war story we have. My uncle Ray, he was a door gunner in Vietnam, which is really cool. He did give me his service medal, which I did have in my display cabinet, but I gave my son for his 6th birthday, which I think was probably a little bit of a mistake. But yeah, that's us. The only ones I know about. He's actually been in the thickness of those types of battles.
Good night, Overcoins.
Hey, oh, good coin. Good night, my friend. Yeah, I mean, with what said, it's not that I'm interested in. It's the history leading up to stuff. You know, why this happens. That's what I'm interested in. You know, it's like US war nickels. I absolutely love US war nickels. War coins from 1915 to 1918, coins from around the world from that era, because just think all those coins, more or less every human man had to deal with the war. So you never know what those things were bought. Was it their pint? Did they buy the beer pint? Did they cards with each other? Do you not have the rest? You never know what these coins is. And they're from all over the world, and that's why I like those coins so much. That's why I like the older ones, especially the Boer War in that era. So it's another thing.
First or second?
That's what. That's true. That's true. Mainly, probably more. The second one was more famous than the first.
Well, of course, there's a lot more publicity, especially since the first one was a fiasco for the British.
Well, yeah, it's probably not well documented. Well, it's probably, as I said, the British don't like losing. They're bad soul losers. Very good at retreating. Retreated quite well, considering we're probably from, you know, in the revolution.
Well, really think about it, Dale. The British were still using tactics from the time of the Napoleonic Wars. They were still doing advance in line, bullets. They were going against the Boer guerrilla tactics. I mean, talk about
that's what all started.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
I mean, you're going back even probably earlier than that with Canadian frontier wars as well. You know, still using the old stupid volley lines.
Yeah, they had that issue too.
It was only when we started using the Celts, because hunters and gatherers, and they wore the uniform, but they knew how to do guerrilla tactics. So yeah, it's still adapt from that pit and still used volley shots, as you say, which is not way very much. I think actually we lost 20 soldiers in one day because of a general no man's land or something like that.
It's a ridiculous amount.
And he was kind of. It was crazy. It was the biggest loss of British life in one day we've ever had in our history, or something that long on that lines anyway.
Well, you know, when you think about it, the Boers were way ahead of their time. I mean, in the second Boer War, remember General Kanji was the first person to ever use biological warfare by putting putting cadavers and freaking dead horses upstream and poisoning the water of the British and Canadians.
Yeah, and using poison. Well, they used it anyway against the South, but against the British anyway. with poison frog darts. So and many other ailments what they probably kind of. I mean, so yeah, I remember that with the river. But did you know? I can't remember his name. He was a sergeant.
I will touch it a little on the
drift.
You're gonna step down, DJ?
yeah. But
Look,
okay, my friend,
thank you for coming up, buddy.
anytime.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
You're a good guy. Please check out his guys.
Yeah.
Link in the chat, my friend.
Yeah, could you do that?
But yeah, there was a sergeant at Rorke's Drift, and he survived the war, and I think there was two types of sergeants. Where he was a lieutenant. One was a lieutenant. He was like a hard-nosed, posh lieutenant, and then there was a sergeant. I can't remember his name, and they become friends. And he would wash his own uniform. He would be there for the guys. And Sergeant Burton, I think his name was, or something like that. And he was the only one of so many who didn't get the Victoria Cross at Rorke's Drift. But he's got a really cool history if you want to read about it, because he retired. He trained soldiers to go into battle. He survived War I, and then he retired himself from the military. He managed to get up to a warrant officer, which is the highest. Is it sergeant major?
Be a sergeant major. Warrant is one below. Yeah. Sergeant major is higher.
He's the highest non-commissioned officer, and then at the age of 60-something, when World War II broke out, he re-entered, but this time he went as a lieutenant or a first lieutenant. I can't remember the British Army ranks at that time, and I'm not sure. I think he survived World War II as well, but yeah, he survived probably the first and second war, the First World War, and the Second World War.
Unbelievable.
But then he was actually given the Victoria Cross. But he was actually 6 foot something.
I would think so, yeah.
He was about 6 foot something, 6'4". He's a big guy. But yeah, he's got an incredible history. Really worth reading, or even checking him out. But he's one of the few recipients of his stature not to receive the Victoria Cross, even though he was nominated.
Do you know how rare that is? To see guys that have gone through multiple wars, like World War I, World War II, as combatants. Because most of the World War I guys ended up being guards for the POW camps. They figured they were too old to go into service.
That's absolutely true. But yeah, it's a great story. I mean, that's the stories I like reading about or listening about. You know,
me too.
Stuff. You know when Alan W. with his history, when he do Coins of History, that was fun to read that. EAC with her family, when it's tied to your family, that was fun. That was interesting.
It's much more interesting. It is, and that's why I don't mind taking a step back and getting more into the history. Unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with war, but with us being coin collectors, we can actually reflect on what those coins went through. And little things that we look at, like I love to find the trench art that's done on coins, similar to the hobo coins. But if I could find a couple of trench art pieces, I'd love it to put it in my collection.
Well, do you know what a lot of people did with the butt of the 303 rifles, the Lee Enfield rifles. Sometimes they use the 222, sometimes it's more beneficial to use the 303 caliber. What they used to do is when the gun was broken or destroyed, they would take the butts off guns or the rifles, and they would shave them down and use crib boards.
Unbelievable. I'm just looking at Zilla. It's I gotta check that out. The MACB SOG got Silver Star with Valor.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm going to really show my age here. I tried to enlist in the American Army for Vietnam when I was a.
Is that the Army combat veteran?
What's that?
Is that the military? Is that something combat? Silver.
MACV? I'm not sure what the acronym stands for. I'm not familiar with it.
SOG.
Yeah, the when I tried to enlist as a young buck, 25 of us went over from my class from school, and I wasn't actually in their class. I was a couple grades behind them, but I tagged along with these guys, and they all got their green cards. I didn't, so they went to Vietnam. I didn't. And of all my classmates, only one of them came back, and he was seriously injured. Had lost one of his legs, and half his face was gone. And he says, I remember him at the Huron Line Legion going to me, he says, if that hadn't happened to me, I'd still be there. I said, oh, boy. Whew, okay. Did I ever escape that one? So I kind of fibbed about my age, and I ended up joining the Canadian Army at 15. They thought I was 17, and that saved my bacon. That's how I ended up avoiding the Vietnam War. Uncle Bob went over, 82nd Airborne, and he come back from one tour. He was going to go back to the again, and he went AWOL. Well, he deserted it really, but he's Canadian. He was hiding in my mother's house, in our house, and my mother swung a deal with the American folks to have him come back instead of charging him with desertion during war. They dumbed it down, and they sent him to Leavenworth for a year, and he got deported back to Canada. So interesting time that time. Military Assistance Command Studies and Observation Group. Very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, on YouTube you can actually find videos on stuff like that. Go ahead.
I'll just read the chat. Sorry for the late reply, Neil. I've got a list of 750 people to shout out tomorrow. Wow. I've hired an auctioneer to roll through the list. Changing my name to... I know what he's on about there. Every single member... okay. It's interesting when people...
throws me off.
Trying to he's on about there. He's on about a certain guy who's put up people that are so they're basically Candace.
I was in Cambodia. Is that where the Air America Zilla?
That's an interesting place because that's where they all started, wasn't it? That's where they went from. Laos was the main base, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they were dealing with the Khmer Rouge too, as well.
Yeah.
And that was a really bad. That was a huge massacre. They murdered so many people. Anybody that was intellectual was dead.
The thing is with Vietnam, as a whole, it was a senseless idea. You know, at the end of it.
Well, you're right. You're right in that sense, because it was a war of attrition.
Yeah.
And every time, and it was tightly tied to the United States and what was going on with the hippies and all the rest of it, and the anti-war movement. Yeah. And they were trying to make people happy at home, but at the same rate, they were committed to South Vietnam. And South Vietnam government was a corrupt government. But
yeah, the Ho Chi Minh, what's his name? Ho Chi Minh Ching.
Ho Chi Minh?
Ho Chi Minh. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of it. Sorry. I knew what I'm on about. I just couldn't remember. He wanted the whole place combined to run a proper government. But the Americans were so strong on protecting the South. The last, when they left the end building, you know, everybody else, it's similar to what happened with Afghan. The similar sort of situation where, you know, everybody just took off. You know, all the commander in chiefs over there, the administration from the building, from the. But anyway, regardless of that, the South Vietnamese soldiers took all their uniforms off. And there was hardly any fighting.
Yeah, it turned into a rout. They just, everybody ran, freaking helicopters crashing into the sea, and I remember it like it was yesterday. But
it was a proxy war.
Well, you know what? That's even. Let's pretend that damn Berlin Wall never fell down. We're seeing the same thing happen again with Russia. The same thing. Every time there's a war, one side is armed with Russian equipment, the other side with American. Yeah, I saw it in Egypt against the Israelis. I saw it in of course, South Vietnam, North Vietnam. Russian equipment against American. Same in Korea. You had the North Koreans against the South Koreans. And again, American against Russian-made equipment. It's constant. Now we have the Ukraine. Ukraine is now getting all this equipment coming in. Most of it, or a good deal of it, is U.S. And of course, the Russians, who are not faring very well, by the way, are their thing. But the big difference is no. But the problem is you've. I'm waiting for one of these idiots to push the button, because it depends on how desperate these guys get. I'm really worried about that, because if that happens, we're all done.
Putin has already said, and his advisor said, he's not going to do it because nobody will win the nuclear war, no matter who you are. There's no winners in the nuclear war.
I agree. There is no winners.
What is the point of trying to conquer so that you can't go and claim? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to take that castle, but let's go and blow it up to smithereens. Your armies are going, why? Aren't we supposed to? Because your point of infrastructure is not to damage the infrastructure. It doesn't cost you anything to build it back up again. That's why you have engineers in your in your battalion. You know what I mean? So you don't need to destroy anything. That's why smart weapons are invented. Nuclear weapons are just it's okay, not knocking a building down, but it's the ground around it that is. You can't. I mean, uranium has a half-life over 25,000 years, so it's just pointless.
Yeah, I went to the NBC school to learn about all this stuff, and it gave me nightmares, man. This is not something you want to have happen, because it's not like a conventional weapon. You got alpha contamination, beta contamination. You have the gamma photons. The gamma photons that'll go through you, and
Right.
It's horrible. And then you have the blast and the heat.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I work with nuclear vessels in my job, and you sort of know how this stuff works and how it goes in and what it goes for, because you're responsible for making something that could potentially go up. So you have to be on your game all the time. And
did you say you tested? You worked on nuclear subs and stuff?
Yeah, no, nuclear vessels. That's where they put the uranium rods in and uranium welding.
Oh, okay, cool. I was on the outside of it. I was on the outside testing for gas.
They put me in the Navy, right? I'll be the one washing the windscreen wipers. I tell you, right? That's probably because I'm so stupid. I know they'll do that. So, they say, Dale, go and knock off all the barnacles and bottom of the subway. We're out at sea. That's what I will get done. So, or go and watch. It's been around for a while. That's probably what that's because I'm stupid. So, but no, as my job, as you know, a master welder. So I spent over 20 years and welding school, went to science school and stuff like that to learn all this stuff. So, and you have to be on your game all the time. But anyway, it's a lot more to it. I call it welding glue, metal glue. But there is a lot more science behind it. But when it comes to nuclear power and all that, it's something that I've always learned. How nuclear fusion works, how nuclear power stations work. I worked when I was in college. My uncle got me a part-time job as a lorry driver, delivering materials to different sites, and one of them was Harwell Power Station. And you had to go in there, you had to counter on there, it's all about to go through the wash. And the scientists took us round to the reactor where the fuel cells were stuck, where they were getting fuel cells, the water tanks of steam, where the moderation was working, how it was working. Obviously, you couldn't go into the control center because it's secret. You've got the police around there and everything. You can't even go into those sort of places. So there's no way they allow you anywhere near a control center. That is guarded by armed police. But anywhere else, our company at the time, my uncle's company we worked for, was taking down an old part of the nuclear power station, and everything had to be done over a tent because obviously there's still chance of nuclear of fuel on it or whatever particles, and you have to go into a wash in and out. Even the lorry had to go. It had his first wash in like 10 years, so it looked like. I mean, it had. I think the dirt was on the rest because when it come out of the wash, it looked brown. All the white on.
Really?
Little welding on it. Yeah, I mean, it was so rusty. The dirt was hiding the rust. But yeah, because you have these disposal trucks turn up, and they're actually white. And the reason why they're white is because it's reflective and it picks up on the guide counter easily. So that's why a lot of the nuclear power stations are inside of white. Mm-hmm. Special paint is when they're painting the ceilings, it's like a sticky. It's like a PVA glue type, sticky, but it's still dry at the same time. It absorbs all the particles from around the area.
Yeah.
So if something was to happen, if something falls on the floor, say like a beam falls down for argument, or a piece of ceiling, this paint sticks so it don't splatter everywhere and it stays in one place.
Zilla's saying a few things here that we should respond to. Did you all work
Yeah.
for the government? My uncle was on the team searching for the WMD, specifically nuclear, and he says not just enlisted stuff. I believe Dale, you did the civilian side, and I did the military side.
Yeah, I did civilian stuff. But what I know is only what I've been taught, learned, interested in subjects. What I learned from the guys who actually built this stuff and do it. Obviously, we have classes to take. Obviously, this can't let anybody in to do uranium welding. You have to be completely certified. So yeah, it's all in a lead case. You can actually check it out. Go to Cambridge, TWI, and then you can actually go and have a look for yourself. It's a big, massive museum there as well. It's a great place. Part of Cambridge University, and you go there. I was there for like my first one was up there for a week, and I was up there for 2 weeks. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, my job on the NERT team was specifically either setting up decon centers and utilizing what they call a stayplex, or checking for gamma shine on the nuclear subs. And the area I would work at was Nanoose Bay on Vancouver Island, where the American nuclear subs would pull in. It was actually a submarine range where they actually practiced firing torpedoes. A lot of people didn't know that. Yes, torpedo ranges for subs. They got to learn how to shoot them, right? And that's where yeah.
Firing a torpedo is a very difficult process. With when the torpedoes getting armed out of distance, the current, set the speed. There's lots to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you say shooting solution. For a while. Sorry, Skip.
By the way, I really like that thing with the ship on the side.
Yeah, I tried turning left and I run over a bit too far. That's because you weren't there, Skip, just to guide me.
Yeah. But Evil Arch Conservative has volunteered to donate a Hot Wheels fast food cart. Anybody else want to get on the wheel? Got it. That's
pretty cool. Hot Wheels fast food car. That is amazing.
Got to have at least one more person willing to give it a shot.
And I'll tell you what, EAC has donated amazing stuff. I'll tell you what she's put in so far. A G-Shock watch and a yo-yo. So I think that's quite collectible stuff there. And now she's got a Hot Wheels fast food car. That's probably one of my brains in knackered as well. It's probably actually I can probably show you what the uranium welding's like at TWI. TWI means the Weld Institute, by the way.
I feel educated now. $2 via bus to get to work. And that's why I don't use my free bus pass. Because I could go up to I have a men's support group I go to. And it's on the other side of the city. And it takes 2.5 hours by bus to get there and 25 minutes by car. Well, I hate using my gas to go up there, but to be stuck on a bus 5 hours, forget it. Yeah, I got a big kick out of that polar bear
He's my buddy. He is. I absolutely adore that guy. He's so funny. If I just show you this, the Bound Institute.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing is all the stops and starting. Yeah. When I retired from Edmonton Transit, I got this bus pass for myself and my wife. It comes with our picture on it, says retiree for her too. So she could go on the bus anytime she wants. I can't get her on the bus. No way. I'm not going on no bus. We don't, you know what, Zilla, we do not have Greyhound anymore out west here. I think they have it down in Ontario to go across the border, but Greyhound Canada's gone. It's basically, and you know, Canada's a big country. We used to have the Greyhounds going to all the little towns and whatnot, so you needed to go out to Thorhild or Whitecourt or whatever. And you're guaranteed you'd be able to get a bus ride there and back. And they always had, usually at a little grocery store or something, they had a bus stop where you could wait for the bloody Greyhounds to come. No, that's all gone now. So what happens? People cannot get into the cities or cross Canada unless you drive or you fly. There is just they have come up with a few bus lines, mostly for the oil field workers and whatnot. But nothing really as convenient as the Greyhound. We also used to ship our stuff by Greyhound, and the Greyhound, if you ship something by Greyhound, it was cheaper. That's all gone too. So, welcome to 2022. It actually disappeared after some guy beheaded a bus passenger in, I think, out of Saskatoon. And after that was it. Nobody wanted to ride the buses anymore.
Wow. I mean, actually, when 9/11 happened, there was also a bus takeover, wasn't it, on the ground?
I don't know. I never heard of any takeover.
A day later or something, someone, not related, but there was an issue with the Greyhound, because obviously it's a big concern to national transport. So around that time as well. It was a couple of days before or a couple after. Yeah, do you know what? That's one thing I would love to have done actually. Is actually if I was is back then, say like the 90s, and travelled on a Greyhound bus and say I've done it, I've been there. You know, I've done it. I've been on a Greyhound bus.
I used to like taking them. They were nice, Dale.
They were really good, were they? I mean,
yeah.
Doing the real thing is not the same experience, is it? So, I'm just trying to see the video. If you go to the UI Limited website, is what they do there. Okay, it's a wilding school. It's an actual proper wilding school, and they mimic everything. So anything, and in the museum, they've got the Saturn V rockets. I've met the guy who invented friction stir welding, and that was in his shed by mistake. I don't know if he's passed on now, but he's back then. And he just waddled around the institute, and it's just everything that's made is mocked there. So from aerospace to nuclear to getting your codes to learning about underwater welding, was I was going to do. I did my class there, and then I was going to go and do my. I started my offshore certificate, and I was going to do my first dive to get used to the weights and the pressures and the signals. But then I come very unwell. So kind of bummer, really. because I wanted to go and work for piecework with my friends, and they would be working on the oil rigs, the pipelines, the big ships, and they would just dot around in a van. But my friend one of his friends met his wife, and he was on his own, and he taught me. I mean, this guy taught me. I thought I was a good welder at the time, but these guys were a league of their own. They were fantastic, and they used to hold my hands because I was willing to learn. They would literally hold my hands and say, "Right, you've got to hold it this way, hold it this way." So it was like, for everything I had, all my knowledge, out the window and start again. And it's weird, people holding my hands for benefit, you know.
Yep.
If these people, and that's why if someone's willing to show me something, I like to pass that knowledge on. You know, because there's no point keeping it to myself and being a hero for it, because you're not. You're just being selfish.
We've got less than a minute to the 30-second countdown for the pay it forward.
Got win there. I got EACs.
Okay, and this is I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds, starting right. What's that?
I read in the chat. 4 minutes. It is. So EAC spends 2 hours, and after that, well, an hour of that is more or less waiting around, really. Then plus all the stop starting.
Here it is. Any takers?
It's no. You can put anything that's collectible. Like you got spare at home. Remember, you might win, and once you get on the winners' podium, it's last player standing at the end of the month can win everything. So that's it then. It's an EAC.
That's it then. EAC.
All right, got to shuffle EAC 5 times. All right, you shuffle 5 times the EAC. Let's see if EAC wins.
Gee.
Is a 100% chance that she?
I would say that's a pretty good odds. Gonna have to start inviting a few more people into the stream, guys. That way we can build up that treasure for the end of the month.
Yeah, that's the treasure trove. We got 2 types of treasure trove here. We got collectors from all over the world, and we've also got collections that you can win. So it's now going to be, because nobody got the stream last time. That will be Silver Tea, Booty Dime, Man, and of course EAC. So how many more we got left to the end of the track and skip? Or should I just check?
Let's see. What we've got here is we've got 1 more this week. Should be 2 next week.
4. We got 4 more places.
We have 4 more.
4 more places. So
yeah.
And now EAC can just sit back for the rest of the month now without worrying about donating another prize.
Yeah.
And remember, it doesn't have to be big. It just has to be something that is collectible. Because I've see EAC pop, you know, obviously have to show anything. Just I like to hear how she how makes it so easy to pick these locks, and why is Polar Bear so naughty and cheeky to it? I reckon she loves him too much. You know, she pats him on the head, and she looks after him. You know, because he locked himself out there with the lock, though.
Okay, well, guys, I'm going to shut down the stream now, and I'm going to. No, he says no. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link up.
Look, I've sorted out my American coins. Well, some of them.
Oh, you've done really well there.
You know what I found in my collection? I managed to gain. This is, don't forget, this is not for gift to me. This is from I've been given from my brother. Some people that I bought from in coin drops or in auctions over the time. So, and I didn't realise. I got, obviously, I have one stuff in, and that's separate. That's in my box for my gifts and stuff, and I'll keep them safe. So I got me, and obviously my Morgans are up there in my cabinet, and my peace dollars there. No energy.
Cool.
And my dollar version, obviously excluding the Morgans and peace dollars, obviously.
Mm.
I got a 1971 Ike, a bicentennial Ike dollar, which I thought was pretty cool.
Cool.
I got, that is not as a foreign country. I don't know that fan of them. I did have some of these Canadian dollars, but I gave some away. And Susan B. Anthony, obviously, what my coin sets are there, and I purchased and what Jason gave me, what other people, you know, that I won from coin hunts. I've also got American Silver Eagle up there. That you know, some of those gifts, some of those I did pay for. I got NIFC Kennedys, I got normal Kennedys. It was pretty cool actually. Zoe bought me this Christmas one time.
Oh, very nice. Look, Dale, why don't you finish up showing us all those coins there tomorrow? I'm gonna shut the stream down here.
We got another.
Yeah, there's only myself and one other person on the thing. So now we're down to two.
We're gonna have to go Dale then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I put a raid link on there if anybody wants to go. You can stick around for a few minutes.
Yes, please.
If you'd like.